In this video, I'm going to be discussing the ways you can reparent your inner child. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new around here, my name is Christina and I help empower people on their spiritual and their healing journey. Please do hit that subscribe button because it's my mission to share my message to as many people as possible and to support and help people just like yourself. So with that bit out of the way, let's get on to the good stuff. So you may have heard of the term reparenting along your healing journey, and you may not really understand what that means. So firstly, I'm just going to dive into what reparenting actually means. So reparenting can be done in two ways, and reparenting means having somebody there to meet the needs of your inner child, to be the parent that you never actually had. And one way this can happen is by role-playing this out to resolve a particular traumatic experience with maybe a therapist or somebody you trust. But also they can play the role of the parent in order to have your needs met. It's not very well common, and this can create codependency relationships, but there are therapists that do that. But the best way you can reparent yourself is to do it yourself, is to meet your inner child's needs. Because the inner child is an emotional being. It's an emotional part of ourselves that is often wounded, and so we deny the inner child because it feels emotional, it feels painful. But all the inner child wants to do is feel acknowledged, to be accepted again, to be witnessed, because the inner child wants to feel seen, feel heard. But when we are shutting the inner child away, we are denying that the inner child part of ourselves really exists. So one method that I really enjoy doing when it comes to reparenting and meeting my own inner child's needs, being that parent for my inner child, is that I go into a visualization. I kind of go into that meditation and I go back to the memory of when my inner child experienced something traumatic. And during that memory, when I'm thinking back to that time, I comfort and look after my inner child the way my mother or my father was meant to. I became that mother and used all my adult wisdom now, because I am a mother, I know what it means to give that motherly love. I visualized giving that to my younger self. And you may have seen in a previous video that I'll just put up here, that I share my experience, my mystical experience of what actually took place the first time I went deep into the visualization process of this. So I went to each timeline, whether that I was 2, whether I was 10 or a teenager, or the most significant things I could remember. I went back to those times, visualized that, and I cared for my inner child. I met her needs, I soothed her, I stroked her hair, I looked after her, I clothed her, I bathed her. This visualization technique is a very powerful tool to reparent because you're actually meeting the child's needs, your inner child's needs. You're being that loving father that your inner child desperately needed back then. And if you need step-by-step guidance to meet your own inner child and to visualize meeting their needs and allowing them to be acknowledged, I'm hosting a 5-day free emotional reset challenge where I will be diving into the nervous system and the body. There'll be a day where we talk about the inner child and meet your inner child. I'll be teaching you some embodiment practices for permanent change, help you shift from doing constantly to being, and go from your logical, intellectual mind of healing down into your body and begin to release and reset. And if that's something that you want to join, click the link in the pinned comments below to sign up now. So visualization, I think I spelled that right. So visualization is a really powerful way to help you to meet your inner child's needs. So what are some of the other ways we can reparent our inner child? And some of the other ways is actually just acknowledging your inner child exists and allowing your inner child to be witnessed. So this means witnessing inner child, and this means emotions. So when I say witnessing emotions, a memory may come up, or you may be spontaneously triggered, or somebody may have triggered you. And a trigger is an old wound, in particular if you've have like heavy inner child wounds. And so when the inner child wound, the inner child is like wounded and it comes to the surface, it's asking to be witnessed. It's asking, the inner child's asking, saying, hey, look here, I have this emotional baggage. I need you to feel it for me. I need you to process this for me. I need you to kind of be there for me whilst I have this kind of emotional outburst. So you cry to process this, but at the same time you show yourself some compassion. You can speak out loud to yourself. You can just comfort your own inner child and allow your emotions to be there and to be felt and witnessed in your body as well. Because often the inner child will reside in the lower 3 chakras, which is the chakras are the energy systems going throughout our bodies. So sometimes you may have chronic pain in the lower half of your abdomen, or anywhere, particularly on your body, but a lot of our inner child wounds reside energetically, get held in the pelvic area, particularly for women in the hips. It gets stored in there. So when we are feeling these emotions, when we're allowing them to be witnessed, we can feel some sensation in our bodies too, particularly when we're processing it and we're finally releasing it. Another great way I like to reparent my inner child is simply by talking out loud to them. Talking. And if I'm feeling triggered, or I'm feeling a little bit of a sensation, I'm feeling off, I'm not feeling particularly like myself, and I just simply place my hand over my heart and I reassure my inner child. I tell them that I'm here and tell them that they're seen, they're heard, and they're so deeply loved, and I'm proud of them. And this is a way that you are validating your inner child, you're meeting their emotional needs, and so they're able to be seen and witnessed again. So this is really another great way of reparenting your inner child. It's just giving your inner child the validation that you didn't receive in childhood, allowing them to finally be witnessed, finally be heard and seen, because often parents, and even still to this day, usually say children should be seen and not heard. Children should be like playing and not bothering me and all of that nonsense, and it's simply not true. So when we reparent ourselves, we are allowing and giving our inner child permission to finally be there and be acknowledged, be witnessed, be seen. So then we can resolve that emotional pain. We can allow that energy, the stagnant energy of the emotion, to flow through us and then finally dissolve. So those are just some of the ways you can begin to reparent yourself. So with that all being said, I will see you in the next video. Much love.